Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball HTB. I'm here in a casual Monday night. Pretty chilly at the moment where I am. Bit rainy too. But in saying that, that's why we're here. We're here to talk all things rugby league, more specifically Warriors. And we're going to be talking about player ratings as well as getting into some topic discussions and then going. But I'll let him introduce himself anyway. So over is NRL Fanatics.
Yeah, hey guys. It's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. I'm looking forward to the chat tonight. To talk about the game on the weekend and give our player ratings and that. But thanks to Hold the Ball for letting me come on his channel, and I'm looking forward to the discussion. All things Warriors and talk about the NRL round as well. So thanks to Hold the Ball for getting me on channel.
Yeah, look, thanks again for joining me. And guys, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe on mine as well as his. Fanatics as well, producing continual content on a constant basis, which is good. And on top of that as well, he's got some really good things going on there, as he usually does. So, again, thanks again. So, look, as we know, the Warriors, that we lost to the Broncos over at Suncorp in a game that was probably more leaning towards us winning, I think, anyway. Wasn't the result we sort of wanted. If you haven't done so, check my sort of review on the game straight after. Probably give you more insight there. But Fanatics and I will both post our thoughts on the game. However, in saying that, Fanatics, do you just want to give us a quick summation before we get into the ratings about what your thoughts were regarding the game yesterday?
Well, let's be honest, it was very, very disappointing, very disappointing to not get the result in the end. I thought first half, we weren't great. Didn't show off with the ball, and obviously with Brisbane, they had a lot of possession. They made us pay. They had a 12-4 lead. We were lucky to get a try before half time, which I thought was crucial for us. Important try right before the break, and just to go down only 12-4 down at the break was just very important for us. And then we had to start well in the second half, and we did start well in the second half. We got a try there early on, and I looked very positive. We started off with a lot of energy in the second half. We had a 14-12 lead, and it just swapped hands rather quickly, and the scoreline just kept changing. Brisbane hit back, Warriors hit back, then the Warriors hit back again. So, look, very heartbreaking. I thought it was very heartbreaking. Unfortunate, with the missed kicks. We'll probably talk about that later with Rhys Walsh. But
we will.
Look, season's over, officially over. Look, I know people might say there's still a chance. If we win our next 2 games and resolve our way, we could still sneak in. But right now, I personally think it's all, I'd hate to. I don't know if we'll win our next 2 games. We might win one of those 2 games. I don't think we'll win the last 2 games, but probably one of that. That's my thoughts on the game. Obviously, I did a review on my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen it already, go check that out. Warriors NRL Fanatics, and that's my thoughts on it. We had some good stand-up players there, and we'll probably talk about that more. But that's my thoughts.
No, awesome. Look, thanks for that. All right, so guys, we're going to be doing player ratings from 1 right down to the very last player on the bench. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it off first and foremost with, I guess the controversial figure, so to speak, and that is Rhys Walsh. Well, maybe not to us, but to others, I think. So look, for me personally, Rhys Walsh, I think, had one of those games where I guess you could say he felt the pressure, particularly regarding the kicks. Let's not sort of get that wrong, I don't think, anyway. Look, I probably won't, but what were your thoughts on him, and what will you rate him, and then I'll go after you.
Look, it wasn't Rhys's best game. Let's be honest. He made a few. He got missed kicks. Probably vital. They are vital in terms of the game. You need a good goal kicker there. But for me, look, I personally don't think it was all his fault. He still pretty much had his game, I thought. Pretty much had a solid game. Probably not his best game, but, in terms of a rating, I think, I'd probably give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think, obviously it wasn't a great game by his standards, but, I'll give him a 7. I think he was, not terrible, but, obviously it's not his best game. So, I'll give him a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yep. So Rhys Walsh's stats here, I've penciled in 144 meters he made plus 7 tackle breaks. And I do believe he was also part of 1 try assist as well, I think. I guess you've summed it well. It wasn't his best game, but in the things he's did, I think it was enough. And unfortunately, the kicking plays a part in that, whether you like it or not. But in saying that, to shoulder the blame on him is absolutely unfair and uncalled for. That's what I think anyway. For me personally, despite that, I thought he had a really solid showing. I'm going to be giving him an 8 out of 10 for me. Right, so as we go into the wingers here, we've got the first one up, Dylan Watene-Selesniak, who scored 1 try. What were your thoughts on him, Fanatics?
Look, I thought Dylan had a great game. Yeah, I think he was great.
Yep.
He did his job. I think he did his job pretty well there. But he scored a try as well. I believe he did score a try. Look, I'm going to give him around about I'll say a 7 out of 10 for me. I think he's, he didn't have a bad game. I think he really stood out. And I read his stats here on the NRL website, NRL app there, and his stats read pretty well. So, I think he did have a pretty decent game there on the wing. And, it's good to see him back. Good to see him back after last week, not playing because of being suspended there. So, I reckon he did a pretty good job. So, 7 for me.
Yeah, look, I agree. Obviously, in amongst those stats as well was 1 try. I thought he did well. He has really good solid hit-ups, and I noticed that as the Bronco players were sort of getting more tired, he was able to gain more meters hitting up, and I just appreciate how I appreciate as a wing the amount of work he wants to do, especially in the first, second, or sort of third hit-ups. For me personally, I think I would give him a 7 out of 10 for me. All right, so after him was Peta Hiku. Now, I know Fanatics here is a massive fan of Peta Hiku, so in saying that, I'll say that he had 1 try. Now, after that, I'll let Fanatics take the reign. So what are your thoughts on him and a rating as well?
Well, there's nothing more I could say about Peta Hiku. Is just outstanding. Look, I'm going to really miss him at the end of this year. He's a player that's come on really much leaps and bounds. I think last year was one of his best years at the Warriors in terms of playing for us. This year he's had, unfortunately, a few injuries. What to be if he was starting for the whole season, not being injured. So I thought he was great. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for me. I think it was absolutely excellent. He was my man of the match in my review video today. So he's going to be really missed at the club at the end of the year. And the Cowboys up a pick up there for next season, and it'll be sad to see him go. But like to say, but all the best to Peter, and hopefully we can get a few more wins for him before he leaves. So I think he's been absolutely outstanding since his return back to the first grade side.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any chance that Townsend can go on his own next year? Is that possible?
You don't want to hear me rant about Townsend. I'm gonna. Yep.
Hey, that is actually part of our later discussion topic, so I think we'll hear it. Peta Hiku for me, 1 try, clutch, absolutely just, man, he's that type of player that can create something out of nothing, and I think that's what we'll miss. On top of that as well, being a really good passer as a center, very unselfish, I think, and I'm not the only one who thinks that as well. Just very clutch, we're going to miss him because we have some centers who can play that position, but unfortunately, there's only one Peta Hiku. So for me personally, I think I'm going to give him a solid, I think I'm going to give him a solid 8.5. I agree. He was definitely one of the players yesterday. All right, so the other player, the other centre, was Pompey. Now Pompey, I think, had an okay-ish game. Some good defensive bits there, some good offense, but I'll leave it to you. Fanatics, what are your thoughts on him in rating?
Look, I do rate Adam Pompey. I think he's a solid player. You know, doesn't do the flash things, but you know, he just gets the job done. But look, I think he had an okay game. Look, he's not one of those players that's gonna, flash just on the field. But I think, look, I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Look, I think he was okay in parts, but can be good on his day. Adam Pompey can be great, but 6 out of 10 for me. Just solid. Just did okay.
Yeah, look, there's not much for me to say there personally. His form hasn't been the best as of late. I really am trying to encourage him. I hope that he, sort of plays better, but yeah, it hasn't been the best. I'm probably going to agree with you there, Fanatics, and give him a 6 out of 10 there. All right, so on to the other winger. We have Marcelo Montoya, and he has been arguably one of the buys of the year, particularly for just what he's produced for us, in the Warriors. And yeah, I think another solid game. But in saying that, what are your thoughts on him, and what are your rating? What's your rating?
Yep, I've got to agree with you there on that one. Marcelo Montoya was great. He had a great game. Yeah, and I think I personally had my doubts over the signing in the off season.
Yep.
Now, Ball's proven me, and I'm sure he's proven a lot of people wrong. The people that had their doubts on Marcelo Montoya, and I think he was great. He had a great game, and I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10 for me. A 7 out of 10 for Marcelo Montoya.
Yep, Marcelo Montoya. He's sort of similar to Dylan Watson-Lesniak in that he runs hard and he sort of runs off in the first or second tackle. Sorry, doesn't mind a good tackle as well. I note that and he's actually good under the high ball, or at least he's not scared to challenge whoever it is in front of him, which I really appreciate. He came off with 1 try as well and had some really good solid run meters there for him. I think I will give him a personal 7.5 10. All right, so we're going to the halves now, and this was a really focal talking point regarding opinions yesterday. We start off with Chanel Harris-Tavita. Now, prior to this game, he's had a really solid string of games. Probably not his best game yesterday, but in saying that, what are your thoughts on him and rating as well?
Look, I think Harris-Tavita's best game was the previous week when he was playing alongside Sean O'Sullivan. Now, this is a hard one. Look, I think he was a bit quiet. I think he was quiet, but I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I don't think he was, terrible or anything. I don't think he was, one of those average players. But I'll give him a 6.5 just for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. He was almost placed in the position where it was just the stock standard sort of 5'8", passing, kicking. You know what I mean? Like there was no sort of special bond with him and Townsend. And we'll get to Townsend afterwards, but I just felt like because of that combination there, he was just left to just be a default 5'8", and in saying that sort of took away a large part of his game, and we sort of saw him try to attack the line here and there, but I just think because of the house pairing, it was just sort of made all inefficient. At the end, I give Chanel Harris-Tavita a 6 out of 10 for me personally. Now we go over to the next halves pairing, and that was Chad Townsend. So Chad Townsend, just to give you guys some context, was a late addition into the Warriors squad, surprisingly. What are your thoughts on him personally, without trying to give away too much, because we'll discuss him, and what were your ratings as well?
Yeah, well, before getting into it, I'm just going to read a stat here, and this is on Brent Reed. So this is from a journal on Twitter here, and it says here, the Warriors have won 3 in a row with O'Sullivan at halfback to get back in finals contention. He gets dropped and Chad comes in. The Warriors are now 0-4 with Townsend at halfback this season. So say what you're going to say, but I'm absolutely livid, livid with the move. Absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe that they dropped O'Sullivan for Townsend. Townsend, look, I know where they're coming at with Townsend here because he's a premiership winning halfback. He's a very player and he knows, delivering big games. Chad Townsend, since coming to the Warriors for me, hasn't really done much. He hasn't done much. Yes, I know he's had an injury, but he was brought in to help the Warriors, and he's delivered that, to be honest. And I don't think he did too much of the game to be fevers. So, you know what? I'm going to say, I think Chad Townsend was a 5 out of 10 for me. I just wasn't happy with his performance. He is a leader. He has to stand up and show a bit more, because the pressure's put on Rhys Walsh. Pressure's put on Rhys Walsh. I know Rhys Walsh wanted to take the responsibility himself. Wanted to make the big plays and that, but where's Chad Townsend? He should have stepped up. For me, it's got to be a 5 out of 10. I don't think it was a great performance by him, in my opinion. But I'm sure people might disagree with me here and say I'm wrong, but that's what I believe.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I can definitely sense the fire there. And guys who are joining in, don't forget, you're more than welcome to do some Q&A as well. Ask some questions, but we're just going to go through the ratings first before we get into any answering of any questions. Yeah, look, for me personally, with Chad Townsend, again, a focal point of the team. I don't really know. What did he sort of offer there? I appreciate him wanting to play for the Warriors. Don't get me wrong, and we got to remember that he's played for us before, right? You go back to that 2014-15 year, right? We played for us, so I appreciate that. But in the context of Chad Townsend now, he's not the player, and the stat you brought up is really alarming and is very infuriating to sort of hear. For me personally, I give him a look. I think honestly a 4.5 out of 10 personally. That's just my thoughts there. All right, so moving on, we got the props now. We're going to be starting off with our captain, Eden Fonua-Blake. I thought he was great. I thought he sort of showed that leadership and composure. But in saying that, Fanatics, with you, what are your thoughts on him, and give us your ratings?
Yep. I reckon, another great game by Eden Fonua-Blake. And, he backed the previous game. He got 200 plus meters. I think it was plus running meters. Yeah. I think he was outstanding, standing Eden Fonua-Blake, leading from the front again in the forward pack, proving me wrong that he can be a captain material. So, I had my doubts whether he would be a good captain, and maybe he is putting up his hand for captaincy next year, because he's definitely showing it. He's leading up front. He's not, I don't know if he's a vocal player, but, he's showing why he wants to put their hand up for the captaincy next year. So, I'm going to give Eden Fonua-Blake here a 9 out of 10. I think is outstanding. So, 9 out of 10 for me for Eden Fonua-Blake. An absolutely outstanding performance by him.
Yeah, look, been playing so well in his last couple of games, right? Even this game here too. He had 207 run meters. Get this, he had 38 tackles and no misses. 38 tackles, no misses, over 200 plus running meters. And that's the sort of example you want set for your captain. And you mentioned it before, right, when you're talking about him and that potential captaincy for next year. As far as I'm concerned, he's the captain. That's just what I think anyway. I agree with you, Fanatics. 9 out of 10. Solid showing again in a side that lost. Man, just him being captain, has just absolutely just matured his game and him as a player so much and very well. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading. I've just got a few comments here that I am reading. I guess some of these, so guys, just quickly, some of these not questions, but more so comments I will get to after we're done with this quickly. So I think we'll just quickly go along. Jay Tavanga, what are your thoughts on him and rating?
Look, I think, Jay was all right. He was all right. Look, hard to say because to be honest, look, I don't think saw too much Jazz. Look, he wasn't terrible at all. So yeah, I'm going to give him a solid 6.5 out of 10 for me. So yeah.
Yep, I agree. Look, Tavanga, again, I appreciate how he's not being so wild anymore. If anything, he's actually leading from the front in the discipline department, which is amazing to see. Credit to him, credit to the boys, credit to the coach, full credit to the boys for helping him there. Look, for me personally, I've got to give Tavanga I think a 6.5 out of 10. All right, so now we're moving on to the other prop. Jermaine Tulmore Brown. Look, defensively, he's okay. That's what I'm going to say. But your thoughts on him and player rating?
Look, for me, Jermaine Tulmore Brown hasn't really found his form. Look, last year was, his breakout year. He was one of the rookies of the year. I think he won the rookie of the year last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, the live chat there. But yeah, I think he was okay. Yeah, I think it was okay. Like he's not one of those players that he's your flash player. He just out there and But yeah, I'm going to give Jermaine Tulmore Brown a 6 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I'm still not being impressed with him, this year. But I don't think he was a player that was average. But yeah, just a 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, look, I'm going to disagree there with you in terms of ratings. There, I think I'm going to go lower. In terms of the size, in terms of just the mold of props around him, don't you think he's the best? And again, defensively as well, like I said, he tackles in high numbers, but he has a few misses. He's a big unit. He uses the size efficiently, and I'm not sure why, but there you go. I think for me personally, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. It's a bit low, but again, I've always sort of wanted more from James Tulmore Brown. All right, so we're going to go into the second rows here. First, we've got Curran. What are your thoughts on Curran and a player rating?
Incredible, absolutely incredible, Josh Curran. Haven't said a bad word about him all season. I did a video about it, talking about a week ago, giving my thoughts on this season so far. And boy, he's come on leaps and bounds. He's done some great stuff, and you can score a try. Defensively is very good. Josh Curran for me had a great game yet again for me. So I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for Josh Curran. I just, can't fault the guy. I really can't.
I agree. In terms of games that he usually produces, I'll say this was probably leaning more on the quieter sort of games. But in saying that, he definitely tried his harder. He scored one try as well, and unfortunately got, sent off at the end. Walked away because of his, HIA. So they took him off the field. Look, for me personally, I'm going to give him a 7.5. But in saying that, it's good to know that his, in between his bad and good games, they're not far off. So if he's pretty good and he's bad, his bad games are still better than the average player's game, which is what you want, as a second row. And I think that's a huge compliment. So there you go. All right, so we move on to Ewan Aitken. Ewie, what are your thoughts on Ewie and his player rating?
Yep, another solid game from Aitken in the second row. He's really proving, that position is own at the moment. So, yeah, I'm going to give Ewan Aitken here a 7 out of 10 for me. I think I don't know, he hasn't had too many disappointing games being in that Warriors jersey. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me.
Yep, you and Aiken defensively on point, attack.
Yep.
Well, him 8 out of 10 there personally. I thought he was right. So now we go on to number 13, and that was Sirinen over at Lock. What are your thoughts on Sirinen and player rating?
Yeah, he was all right. He just he did his job there. So look, I'm gonna say for Bailey Sirinen, I'm gonna give him I'll say a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I mean,
yep.
No, that's pretty much the highest I think I can give him. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, look, I agree. Did what he had to do. Can't really complain, but at the same time, I suppose you can't really compliment him either. Yeah, I think a 6 to me personally is where I'll go. All right, so guys, we go into the bench, and again, just letting you guys know, we'll finish this off, and then I'll read the comments, and then we can go from there. We do have some discussion points as well, so stay tuned for that. We're not done yet. All right, so we'll go into Egan. Now, Egan, I think, played an instrumental role. I actually don't mind him coming off as a 14, to be honest with you. I actually like it. But in saying that, what are your thoughts on him? And give us your rating.
Yeah, thoughts on. Sorry, I missed what you said.
No, okay. Yeah.
Who was the player at 14?
Wade Egan.
Oh, Wade Egan. Yeah. I like what he did. Actually, I did like what he did off the bench. You know, he added a bit more. You know, he came off the bench, he had a bit of a spark there in our attack. So, you know, Wade Egan, you know, he's had a few issues with injuries this year. So I think he was solid, did his job very well. So I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think he was, you know, didn't do too badly there coming off the bench.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Not too much to say there. Defensively was on point, on song, provided some good crisp delivery as well of the ball. Yeah, I think I'll give him a 7 out of 10 for me personally. All right, so we move on to Bunty R4. Again, solid that he's getting more minutes, but what are your thoughts on him and player rating as well?
Yep, I think it was one of Bunty's best games in a while, actually, and he did add a bit more off that bench there. So, yeah, I'm going to give Bunty a 7 out of 10. This might be a bit high, but yeah, I think it's one of his best games in a while, actually. So, yeah, did a good job there.
Yeah, no, I agree. The stats read that he had close to 100 meters in running, and he had 27 tackles with only 3 misses. So, again, that's a good showing there. Again, I love Bunty from the back fence. It is one of the best sights to see in a Warriors jersey, is Bunty receiving that ball off kickoff. Believe me, there's nothing else better to see. That to me is like, oh, I love it. For me personally, I think I'll give him a 7, and I think that's a fair enough assessment there for me personally. All right, so we've got 2 more to go. Elisa Katoa, what were your thoughts on him and player rating? Hello? Elias Sakatoa, what were your thoughts on him as well as player rating?
Hello? Yep. Oh, sorry, I didn't get it. It's just cut out there for a sec. Yeah, Elias Sakatoa, look, I think he was all right, actually, and I think he did a decent job there. So, yeah, I'm going to say a 6 out of 10 for me for Elias Katoa. I think, you know, he's good coming off the bench here. So, yeah, 6 out of 10 for me for Elias.
Yeah, he had exactly 100 run meters as well as 23 tackles plus 4 misses. Again, solid type of game. He was trying to run, trying to tackle. He did okay. For me, I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. I still think he should start as a second row and have Curran move to lock, but that's just my own opinion there. And last but not least, we have the jack of all trades, Jack Murchie. Now, what are your thoughts on him as well as player rating?
Yeah, so the merch is the Ruin Hammer known them as the merch, Jack Murchie. So yeah, look, I wasn't too impressed with him. I don't think he did too much. So I'll give him a 4 out of for me in terms of player ratings. But that's what I give him.
Yeah, no, I agree. When I sort of saw him with the ball, you could see that every time they passed it to him, he was just trying to hold the ball. Like you could see he was like, okay, my main focus is to hold that ball and not drop it because that's all I do, right? So every time he watched it, you could just see him just holding that and not trying to let that go. Look, he was okay. I agree. I'll say him and Townsend were probably, I guess probably on the bottom heap of player ratings for me. So I think I'll give him a 4.5 out of 10. But guys, that concludes the player ratings. Now, what we'll do from this point here is I'll read the comments, and after that, we'll attack some of the talking points. So let's get into it, and understand that these guys have already had a chat since then as well, Fanatics. So we won't spend too long on them. But we've got the first comment here by Nicholas McKercher, and this was, going probably about 10 minutes ago. The whole team, including Rhys Walsh, went above and beyond to win that match, as evidenced by how many times we scored. However, his wastefulness from the tee cost us dearly. Any sort of quick words on that yourself?
Look, in terms of that comment from Nicholas McKercher there, I think his kicks did part, but did it cost us the game? I'm personally going to disagree and say no, I don't think it did. There's quite a few other moments that did cost us a game, not just Rhys Walsh kicking there. So I'm going to politely disagree with part of that comment there, but I do think it did play a little bit of a part, but costing us the game, I don't think so from my point of view. But everyone's got their different things here. That's what I believe.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to read the comments quickly, and then we'll just go to the talking points. So Jacko here says, dropping O'Sullivan, Brown's worst selection of the year. Saw O'Sullivan interviewed during the game. The kid has a wonderful attitude. Goodness, I hope club resigns the kid. And Fanatics and I will discuss that point later on. That's true. We should have won, but conversions matter a lot. Yeah, that's true as well. McKercher said, it's a game that he will want to forget and forget very quickly. The pressure of us needing to win got to him perhaps. Atrocious goal kicking when he slotted some incredible goals in the past. Jacko said, fullback is Adam van Blake is a natural leader. The captaincy has focused him, and he is playing his best footy. I agree. So Jacko as well says, Walsh will be fine. He had an off day with Boot, but all kickers, even the great ones, do from time to time. What was great was to see the pain he felt losing. He hates losing, which is a great trait. Now, what are your thoughts on that little last sort of statement there from Jacko here, Fanatics? He said that pain,
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you go.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. I agree with his point there. I absolutely agree with his comment there. And, kickers can have off games. We can see the best players, even the best players, make, bad days, have bad days, bad nights. Rhys Walsh, he's only 19 years old. Look, I know people might say, there are a lot of young players that can, have done it before. But, Walsh is only 19 years old. He's got plenty to learn. Yes, it's not great, missing those kicks. But for me, I think he's got plenty to learn from accomplish. I think, I read something by the Rugby League Guru. Big shout out to Rugby League Guru. He's a great podcaster, and he's, well known in the rugby league community. He did a post on his page today, and it was a very good post. It was well said. It was well valid points there, and he said what Walsh, he wanted the ball in his hands. He wanted to make the play, and courage to do so. And full credit to Walshy for showing that courage. Showing that courage that he wanted to make a play. Win us the game, and unfortunately it didn't come off for him. But there'll be times when it will come off for him. So I think that's my view on it. I think Jack O'Hara's got a great point there, and absolutely, I think the best players, on their day, do get the kicks. The best players not on their day, they miss the kicks. So, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, and they can learn from it. So I'm sure Walshy would definitely learn from it, and he can hold it up high for sure. So, yeah.
All right, nice, well said. Look, I want to go back to these comments prior, but we've just got one here from Sam Revel. So we all know Sam Revel. He features a lot on Nick from Australia show, and Sam Revel is someone I like watching in terms of the way he explains himself. He's got very good points, and I like listening to what he has to say. So he just has a bit of a funny thing here. He said, "Hey lads, hope you're doing well. Great hustling. As a Cowboys fan, I ask, you want to keep Chad Townsend? Really, it's fine. No, look, Sam Revel, that's okay. We will give him to you guys, and we will literally pay the remainder of his salary that we have paid. That is okay. You can take him right now, and we'll give the extra 100,000. That is okay. There's no issues here. We're more than happy to, you guys can experience the truth that is Townsend early. You can have an early experience with him. You and Nick from Australia, you guys can enjoy him. We'll miss him greatly when he goes. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but there you go. All right, so we're just going to read the comments here. I couldn't agree with you more, Jacko. I think that he is the man that we should chase to line up the T long term. He just had an absolute shocker conversion-wise. Yeah, that's right. And Fanatics elaborate on that. Fanatics just saying that basically, yeah, he did, but in saying that, all the greats do, and he'll bounce back. So just Jacko here replied, just get a goal-kicking ace to spend time overseas and with Walsh, as he naturally strikes the ball well. Time with Daryl Halligan would be good for him. I agree. Andrew Mudgeway says, who should the Warriors be looking to target on the transfer market next year to propel up the ladder? We will get into that very, very soon, guys. Sorry. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit some of the talking points, the discussion points, all right? So the first one we have is our thoughts on Rhys Walsh. Now, Rhys Walsh, after that game, there was a lot of criticism as well as, there was a lot of love, and I suppose the opposite spectrum, there was I guess the opposite of love, right? Which was probably people blaming him for the game, so to speak. So Fanatics, what were your thoughts on people critiquing Walsh and saying that it was solely him who lost the game due to his kicking? Now, bearing in mind, though, for me, where I personally stand, I do believe kicking does matter. And yes, to a degree, you can say that kicking missed it, wasn't great. However, to blame it on him solely, I think is a very harsh sort of a critique for a young player, someone who wants to win. So what were your thoughts on that as we sort of tackle the first topic there?
Yep, I think, the criticism on Rhys Walsh, I think it was completely unwarranted. I mean, look, yes, crucial kicks, a chance to win the game. It's such an important game for us in terms of keeping our season alive. And, I don't know why the likes of Chad Townsend or someone like a Chanel Harris-Tavita wasn't goal kicking. I know Walsh, he's done pretty well with the goal kicking lately, but, I don't know why they put so much pressure on a young bloke like Rhys Walsh to do that. He's a great talent. He's a great talent. He hasn't had too many bad games this year since coming to the Warriors. It wasn't his best game, yes, but you can't judge him on those missed. In my opinion, I don't think it was all his fault. The frustrating thing for me is the comments on social media. Look, I know social media, that's what social media is about. People come on, have their opinions. That's understandable. Everyone's got their opinions, but for me, Rhys Walsh wasn't his fault at all. I got absolutely livid and annoyed with the comments last night on social media. I did a tweet on Twitter. I did a post.
Fire up, come on.
I saw Channel 9. It was the first time. Yeah, it was the first time Channel 9. One of the posts of Channel 9 was an article. It said, Walsh lost the game, or some of the lines are like that. Walsh missed conversion and rules the Warriors season or something like that. But that's how the article went. I don't know. The media can make it out as they want. Yes, I understand it's describing the game because we lost by kicks, but I don't necessarily agree with all the hate criticism Walshy has copped. And all I've got to say is, young players in the game, we see young players in the game, they often run away game because of, the likes of these comments that they get on social media. But all I've got to say is, hold your head up high. You will learn from it. You will get better. Yes, probably should have done better with the kicks. You missed them, but all I got to say is, good on them for showing that courage to want to kick. One, he wanted to kick a field goal from 40 metres out. Was it the right decision? Probably not, because the kick conversions, obviously, you only got 1 from 5. People point that out to me there and say you missed 5 conversions, which I get, but I think all Walsh needs to do is hold his head up high and he'll be better. He'll learn from it. He's got a lot of players, senior players in that side that he can take advice from moving forward. So that's my results on it. But yeah.
No, look, that's a very good. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that, and that's right. And you can see the passion there from Fanatics, and like myself, we're here to defend Walsh to the bitter end. We don't care, stuff you all. That's as simple as that. You know what I mean? So it's Rhys Walsh and nothing. We'll just got here a comment here, Jacko here, and just quickly, I appreciate the comments as well, guys, that I've just quickly sort of highlighted. So Jacko here says those hating on Walsh need to take a breath, or do they want him offloaded? Damn idiots love to hate. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Look, my sort of thoughts on Walsh and that. Look, I'll make it simple, short, and sweet. And I think Jacko here as well actually sort of states it really well. At the end of the day, sure, you can look at the kicking, but hey, we can also look at the defense as well. Just being honest there, we leaked a few tries, didn't we? And on top of that as well, again, the fact that Walsh wanted it in his hands, he wanted to hold the ball where it really mattered. He wanted to kick the ball. It just shows you somebody who wants to win. And you got to bear in mind, he's only 19 as well. So you translate that to somebody who's 19 now, and you give it to him in the next 5-6 years. Those things are going to pay absolute dividends for us in the future. Hey, it's trial and error at the moment. You got to forgive the kid. He's going to try. He wants to win. Let him test it out, because I can assure you we will bear the fruits. Hopefully, we will bear the fruits in the future there. But that's all my thoughts there. Look, another point on Rhys Walsh we want to talk about as well, Fanatics. I wouldn't mind your view as well. We've sort of touched on it. It's been around the media there, but the Broncos and sort of their statement saying that they want Rhys Walsh back. Now, what are your thoughts on that? In the future, they want him back. They want to lure him back. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, look, I think, I don't know whether this is just a fire and, fire and brimstone sort of story that's come out because we were playing the Broncos during the week, and, that could, possibly fired some things up there in terms of, Walsh and wanting to come back, Brisbane wanting him back, and maybe they do want him back. I don't know. But, look, Cameron George, CEO of the Vodafone Warriors, he came out and said something. He's like, look, thanks for, he offered, he said, thanks, for Walsh, you guys didn't want him and we offered him a good deal. And, he said, you didn't want him. So, look for me, Rhys Walsh, the Warriors have got to keep him long term. He's got great potential. He's only 19 years old. Does Rhys Walsh want to come back to Brisbane? That is my big question. My big question for him. Maybe he's got a bit of family here in Australia because he might have a thought about it. I don't know, but I think, Rhys Walsh got to keep him long term for me. And I don't know. I don't read too much into that story. I think the Warriors have got them locked up for 2 years or something. 2 years. Maybe I'm wrong here, but correct me in that comment section below there, live chat there. But I believe we've got him for a bit there. So obviously there'll be a lot of clubs be hungry. We've got to make sure we do offer him enough money to keep him at the club long term. But that's my thoughts on the whole Rhys Walsh. Brisbane wanting him back. So yeah.
Yeah, look, I agree. We've just got a comment here from Nicholas McKercher, which I'll get to just quickly, but you touched on it. Obviously there's that sort of question there that lingers in our minds as well. Will he want to go back to Brisbane? and especially with a second team as well. That just adds more speculation there. But look, in saying that, I really hope that the loyalty we've shown Rhys Walsh at a young age will bear fruit. I really hope. Obviously, at 18 years of age, we literally put all our eggs in one basket for him. Let's not beat around the bush here. That's the reality. We literally put everything. We put our trust in him. My hope, though, regardless of whether that is just a bit of hearsay, is that he stays. And I guess Nicholas McKercher, just going back to him, he said, I think that Rhys Walsh is the best thing since sliced bread, and that he will be loyal to our club because of the assurances Coach Brown gave him that he was our man long term. Yeah, well, that's right. And that's another thing I think Walsh really appreciates too, is the fact that we have included him so well in our future plans, and he's right in the thick of it. He literally is the thick of it. So Rhys Walsh understands that he plays a huge role. He's not in the back seat. He's not sitting in he's not sort of sitting in the backseat of the vehicle. You could even say he's arguably driving the vehicle, especially in the future, especially in the long term. So in terms of that, I'm just hoping that Walsh looks at that, and I do hope we offer him big money. Do you want to sort of finish off anything there to say, Fanatics, or do you want to move on to the next subject?
Nah, I pretty much see what I need to say there.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, the next topic, and this will be the last sort of related topic to the Warriors, and then Fanatics and I will sort of talk about the top 8, I guess, and sort of talk about the puzzles and whatnot regarding the Warriors. So stay tuned for that one there. Just a comment here, Jacko here. Those hating on Walsh should take his place when the beast Haas was running straight at him, thinking Walsh loaded him with a great leg tackle one of the highlights of the game. Yeah, that is, man, yes. That was such a good tackle on Haas there, man. Far out. Yeah, that's right. We've got to take those things into regard there. So good comment there, Jacko here. And another one from Jacko here says, let's forget about Bronco stirring the pot with Walsh. If the club does things right, he will be with us long term for sure. Yeah, I hope he's a one club player. I would love that. Like Simon Mannering or Stacey Jones. All right. Crumbs King, you can tell he loves the culture as well. If you follow any of the players on Instagram, it looks like he's vibing with the boys. Yeah, that's good. And I appreciate how the boys have taken care of him. And I love how they all look after him collectively as well, like a little brother, which is good to see. All right, so this topic here we're moving on to now is the coach. Now, Nathan Brown made that interesting move to swap O'Sullivan and place Townsend. Now, Fanatics does have some views on Townsend that he sort of went on before, but I guess now is sort of, more center stage. So what are your thoughts on that sort of movement there? And do you think it affected the combination between, Chanel Harris-Tavita as well as Townsend? Like, give us a bit of your thoughts there as well, and I'll sort of elaborate, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Look, like I said earlier, earlier in the live stream here, I was impressed with the move. I think when they said when I heard it was a couple of days ago before game day, I heard it was going to happen, and I think that Chad into the Warriors. Look, full credit to him wanting to come and put in what his wife and kids coming up here and playing for us here in in Australia, in being located here on the Gold Coast here. But Townsend, coming here, he hasn't really delivered on expectations for me. I think I kind of expected a lot better, and he's an experienced player. He's a premiership player with the Cronulla Sharks. Yeah, so look, the O'Sullivan combination with Chanel Harris-Tavita, the last couple of weeks has been working. We've won 3 straight games in a row leading up to the Brisbane game. And I thought Brown made a very disappointing decision there. In my opinion, I think he made a very disappointing move. I think O'Sullivan should have stayed in because it has been working for the last couple of weeks now. So, look, I know we've played some new teams like the Bulldogs, the Tigers and all that, but still, O'Sullivan, Townsend, O'Sullivan and Sean O'Sullivan and Chanel Harris-Tavita were working a great combination there. So, yeah, I think Townsend, look, good luck Townsend at the Cowboys next year. But you know, for short stories, you know, I don't think he's done very well, to be honest. But that is my view. At the end of the day, I hope that on Teamless Tuesday tomorrow they announce that O'Sullivan back in the halves with Chanel Harris-Tavita. But for me, I highly doubt it. I don't think that they're going to change it. I did my prediction for Teamless Tuesday today on Instagram. So, yeah, look, I highly doubt they're going to change it, to be honest. I mean, you know, it looks like they want to play Townsend for the next couple of games. But for me, it's got to be O'Sullivan and CHT as the halves combination. And I'm not blaming Chad Townsend for the game. I'm not, you know, for the result at all. I'm just saying that O'Sullivan would have been a better option, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say about that one.
Yeah, no, good take on it, and some very healthy points there. Look, for me personally, one of the key annoyance for me regarding that, the whole Townsend being in thin. Now again, I'm not here to drag down Townsend. You know, all jokes aside, I appreciate what's done for the club in the past, and the fact that he's playing for us now. I appreciate the fact he wants to play for the Warriors. I'm going to always hold that up high, and I'll, you know, thank him for that. However, besides that point, throughout the tenure of the season, if you guys have watched my videos, there's always been that sort of cry for chemistry. There's always been that cry of combination and hopes that something works. Now, in that as well, I sort of said, you know, looking at the halves as well in particular, you know, there was like one time, you know, Chanel Harris-Tavita, and then we had Walsh, then we had Sirinen, then we had O'Sullivan, then we had Nikarima. There was just all these sort of different combinations happening, left, right, and center. You throw Townsend into the equation as well. And then all of a sudden we find, I think anyway, the best combination ever this year, which was O'Sullivan and Chanel Harris-Tavita, or sorry, the other way around. And then for us to win 3 games in a row, which is great. And then for him to be thrown out just because of some, I guess, views on experience, I think. For me personally, it frustrates me because we found a key component that actually worked. And then the coach decided to take it away and throw something in that does not work. Quite clearly, you could see the chemistry there was non-existent. You got 2 players there who cannot complement each other. They cannot work the chemistry together. And at the same time as well, they look sort of lost. There's no combination there. There's no complementary. You know, it's always good when halves can complement each other. Now, if you looked at Milford and Kelly, they were complementing each other. They looked like they'd never missed a beat. You know what I mean? And they were just so well, playing so great. And look, even though we lost, it was great to see Milford play so well. It's good to. I'm going to be up front. It was great to see him play.
Agreed.
He's got so much criticism, and he's been through so much. I can't imagine the mental tax that it would have taken on him mentally as well. So for him to actually play well has been good. On top of that as well, yeah, it was just frustrating because, well, yeah, who wants to see combinations sort of work and then die? All right. Yeah, that's all my final points there. Just quickly, before we go into the last point, we've got Nicholas McCurcher who's asked me, how did he first become aware of California Rugby League scene Hold the Ball? I've been watching a number of full games on YouTube recently. Yeah, look, I sort of do a bit of work with California Rugby League. I've been honored that they have actually selected me to partake in some of their interviews with some of their players. And obviously, if you haven't seen, they also gave me a parcel of a whole heap of goodies too, which I really appreciated. I sort of came into it by, just sort of talking back and forth, privately, key interests and whatnot, and then just going off from there. But yeah, guys, I would probably encourage, or actually I will encourage you guys to stay tuned to a lot of the California Rugby League content. There'll be more California Rugby League videos coming up. We've got this week here, I believe it's the San Francisco Savage, who will be taking on the LA Mongrel. And these 2 teams are actually the top 2 teams. So this is basically like, Storm against Penrith type thing here. It's going to be a good game, and I'll be getting into it. But yeah, look, that's just how I've got into them. They've been very good and very great as well. Oh, hang on. Oh, I think we have a spammer here. Hang on, sorry. Block user. Yep, we're going to block him. Sorry. Someone there was just spamming comments, and I think, was trying to mock Fanatics there, which I will not tolerate, guys. So be warned, I'll be blocking you straight away if you do that. All right, so waste of time and money bringing Chad in. He is just an average good NRL half. Nothing about him is outstanding. Hell, he was playing reserve grades at the Sharks. Yeah. Hi, guys. Who was the captain yesterday? Didn't see anyone acting like an experienced veteran. Didn't see anyone acting like an experienced veteran, keeping the guys focused. Yeah, the captain was Eden Fonor-Blake. I think he did. Personally, I think he was very vocal. You could see it in parts there, but again, that's all opinion. All right. Yep. All right. So, yeah, all right. The guy who keeps on changing his name, Warriors. I'm just gonna block. Please don't troll, dude. I'm trying to just do the show. Okay. Sorry, Fanatics. Just got somebody there who's spamming the comment section. All right. Back to it. Okay. I'll read the comments just quickly, guys, but I've just got somebody who's sort of trolling at the moment, so making things a bit difficult. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the NRL sort of top 4 and then go into the top 8. Yeah? So as it sort of stands, in first place, we have the Storm, right? And then the Storm, we have the Panthers, Rabbitohs, and the Roosters. Storm are 42 points, Panthers 40, Rabbitohs 38, and Roosters 32. So what are your thoughts on that as well? And then we'll go the rest of the other sort of half there.
Yep, I think, that'll be probably the top. Besides fourth spot, I think Manly will take that fourth spot for me. So, yeah, I think it's pretty much summed up there. Melbourne will win the minor premiership rather easily there. Second spot, Penrith, and the Rabbitohs third. Rabbitohs, had they won the game last week, they could have jumped up to second there. So, yeah, I think it'll be Penrith in second there, and Rabbitohs will stay third, and then that top 4 spot is still up for grabs. You got the likes of the Roosters, Manly as well, and I think there'll be those 2 teams. I don't see Parramatta, pushing for that top 4 spot. So, I think it'll be between those 2 teams, and either one of them could take it. But I've got Manly to finish there in that top 4 for me.
Yeah, look, I agree. One thing I'll notice as well. So quickly, and then from 5 to 8, we have Manly, and then at 30 points, and Eels at 30. So it's going to be interesting to see that little battle there between Manly and the Eels. Though Manly, in terms of points differential, have the advantage there. Knights are at 7th with 24 points, and the Sharks are at 8th with 20 points. Now, the disparity, also like the difference between the top number 1 and number 8 is crazy. So Storm have 42 points, and Sharks have 20. That's just enough said there. Whether that's to do with the NRL footy now that we're witnessing, or just pure dominance, or just pure lack of anything that's related to footy in regards to any of the teams below 8 and below. I'm not sure, but it's crazy there to see that split there. I still think with a couple more games to go, right? These 2 more rounds to go. I do think personally that the Manly can sneak in. Yeah, I agree with you there. I reckon Manly can sneak in there. I think the Eels are done dusted. I think they'll probably be kicked out of the 8 there. So for me personally, I see it Storm, Panthers, Rabbitohs, and I think there'll be a fight between the Roosters or Manly as to who comes fourth there. Another comment I want to make as well is probably the teams that were supposed to be sort of up there, right? Titans were given that sort of what were they given? They were given the boost by the media. They were given that compliment. What were your thoughts on the Titans so far? And that, well, to be fair with you, it's been quite disappointing, really. What are your thoughts on them?
Look, I'm going to be upfront, honest here, and look, I know people might say, he's hating on the Titans and all that. That's not true. I don't hate the Titans at all, but I'm going to be quite honest here. Look, they can still make it, but obviously they need to win 2 games, I believe, the next 2 games. And, I thought they would be in the top 8 by this point of the season. Look, from my point of view, my prediction at the start of the year, I didn't really have them in the 8. And I know a lot of people gave me some stick there and said, why didn't you have them in the 8? They've got Fafita and Tino Farmasili. And, I personally think, you can't rely on 2 players, just to get yourself in that top 8 spot. So, I think they're a little bit overhyped in the off season. I believe a little bit overhyped from my point of view. Right now, right now you can say they could still make it. There's still a chance. It's not completely over for the Titans, but the last 2 games, they've conceded a lot of points, and against the top teams, they haven't been able to show much against the top teams. So, yeah, I don't like it. I personally think I think Cronulla will make. Cronulla. I don't like Cronulla. I don't. They're my most disliked team, but I think Cronulla will make it, and Newcastle will probably slip in there. But yeah, that's my point of view on it. But yeah.
No, I agree. For me personally, look, there's probably 2 teams I want to highlight in terms of, just disappointment. I guess one of them being, Titans, because there was obviously that build up there, and there was that build up there with the team, and I guess on top of that as well, with the Titans, they've got so many players, and to be fair with you, they're good quality players, so you sort of expect that to translate onto the field, and it hasn't. And does it come down to basic fundamentals? Does it come down to too many, I guess, superstars potentially? That can sometimes work against you. I'm not too sure what it is, but yeah, as Fanatics said, they've got 2 chances. But look, the reality is, though, probably hasn't been a good season for them anyway. I don't think anyway. All right. So, sorry, guys, just reading through the comments here. Hey, and again, just shout out to you people who are commenting as well. Appreciate it. Shout out to Sam Rebel as well. Big fan of him on YouTube. So,
yep.
All right. So Nicholas McKirchner says, "How did you 2 get into rugby league, and why do you like the sport?" So for me personally, I think that's. Oh, look, I guess I can just answer it simply here, and then give more an in-depth video in a separate video. But I guess for me personally, I got into rugby league when I was very young. Back in New Zealand. It's been the Warriors since I was a very, very young kid. It was never about the All Blacks personally. That's just my own personal opinion. It was always about the Warriors, wearing that Kiwis jersey. I got into it because of the players. I got into it because I just love the contact, the physics of the sport. I love the one-on-one battles. I love it when players make a break and then you see the fullback trying to tackle him, or, trying to stop a try, score a try. There's just so many key parts of rugby league that I just love, man. The physicality, the toughness, the sportsmanship, or maybe the non-sportsmanship, maybe the drama, maybe the speculation, the feel, the media, the scandals. There's a lot of sort of revolving doors, revolving parts of rugby league that I love. That just make me a fan of the sport from the get-go. I actually do follow a lot of sport. Believe me, it's not just rugby league I follow a lot of sport. But in saying that, to me, rugby league will always be my personal bread and butter. I can't live without that game. I need it on my life on a continual basis. But yeah, that's just sort of like a sweet sort of a summation there. I'll give you guys a more in-depth one. We've got the off-season soon. So, look, there's a lot of things we can talk about. But for that one there, that's my answer. What's yours, Fanatics?
Look, obviously, myself being born in New Zealand, I've lived in Auckland. Now, look, I've lived my whole life, majority of my life, but I've obviously moved to Australia with my parents here. I've been a massive, league fan. I wasn't really big on the I didn't really know too much about rugby league. My first league game was the first time I watched a league game live at the stadium. Now, personally, for me, my dad introduced me to league. I know New Zealand's massive on rugby union there. The All Blacks, it still is right now to this day. But, yeah, I didn't know about league back then. And I went to my first Warriors game. And you know what? I knew nothing about the Warriors at all. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about the NRL as a whole. I didn't know the rules of rugby league. I saw, a game of it or two. But, since then, going to the Warriors, my first game, since then, I've absolutely loved, absolutely been a Warriors fan since I was a young kid. And, from there on, it's been Warriors, win, lose, or draw, people might come up and say, why do you still support the Warriors? And, I just say pretty simple, I just love them. They're just my team. You know, the only New Zealand team in the NRL, and you know that's the main reason, absolutely the main reason. And you know the players I grew up watching, going, Stacey Jones was my favourite player growing up watching. But you know, Warriors, you know, win, lose or draw, you know, people say, you know, it's, you know, myself, I'm sure a lot of fans say it's a bit of a roller coaster ride being a Warriors fan. And all I got to say is, you know, Warriors fans, you know, have a bit of belief that things can turn around. We can do it. I know we say this every year, you know, this is our year every year. You know, it's the old cliche Warriors supporters, you know, myself and a lot of people. But, you know, I'll sit here watching every week, you know, win, lose or draw, you know, whether we've been getting put 50 or 40 points on us, I'll sit there and still watch it. And call me crazy, call me stupid, you know, I still love the boys, still love watching them play. And that, you know, when you're doing content on YouTube, like videos and that, yes, it can be hard because people out there, you know, maybe they don't want to watch a review, you know, after a game, after a massive loss or a loss. So, yeah, all I got to say is I've been a Warriors fan ever since. Never going to change. I'm a born Kiwi, and you know, living in Australia for 9 years now. Lived in Australia since 2011 now. So I did go back to Auckland to live in 2018, but you know, since then, you know, I lived here in Australia. Still a proud born Kiwi, and you know, love rugby league, love the Warriors, and you know, that passion never changes for my team. It does, you know. Emotionally, again, invested at times, you've got to admit, they're absolutely just great to watch. You know, it's great to watch, even though it's frustrating at times. That's how I became a Warriors fan, and to this day, I am a Warriors fan forever.
Awesome. Well said there. Just going to quickly fly past these comments in. I've just so we've got Sam Rivel here. Kevin Campion, when he played for the Warriors, was one of, if not the most feared and respected players in the game at the time. Yeah, I agree. We all remember him. I remember him as a kid growing up. Very hard-nosed Aussie there, and was a very tough player. Very fortunate to have him play for us, and I hope we can get more Kevin Campions in the future, especially from Queensland. They seem to be very strong up there, so I don't mind that. All right, so Jacko here says making 7 or 8 is not really success. It just means you're the best of the rest and cannon fodder for the top sides. Thus, your season's actually a failure. Yeah, look, that is an interesting comment. You can dissect it in many pieces. I guess I can say it's probably contextual. So, for example, what I mean by that is a team like the Warriors, right? Making the 7 or the 8 is success. Though, granted, what you're saying is correct. You know, obviously there is cannon fodder. For some teams, though, that is just a step into the right direction. And for us at the moment, if we don't make the 7 or 8 this year, it is technically a failure, to be fair with you. I guess, obviously, circumstances considered, I get it. However, we came in this year with Cameron George, with Mark Robinson saying that top 8 was the focus, and we didn't make it. So there you go. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality. Do you have any thoughts on that, Fanatics?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with it. You know, you shouldn't be happy with just finishing 7th or 8th every year. You know, should be challenging for that top 4 spot or for that premiership. That is the main prize at the end of the day. I know people say, you know, look, you know, oh, we haven't got the squad to do it. You know, there's no excuses at the end of the day. You know, look, I know it's been tough the last couple of years. You know, it's tough with the team for a bit, but still, at the end of the day, you know, you look at the results this year in terms of the season, and look, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I've been proven right. You know, some of these results, like, you know, early in the season, you know, likes of losing to the Cowboys, Castle, losing to the Broncos. No disrespect to the Broncos, have been going a lot better lately, but still losing to a team like the Broncos, who are 15th or something on the ladder. So, you know, those results are not really acceptable in my opinion. So, you know, might sound harsh here at the end of the day, but that's what I believe. And you know, next year I've got massive expectation yet again. I know a lot of fans will have expectation looking at our signings. Nathan Brown will have a full preseason and another year to get going. And you know, if we're in this position at the end of next year or near the beginning of next year, alarm bells are going to start to ring on Nathan Brown for me. It is what it is at the end of the day. We need to make sure next year we start the season off well, have a good off-season, not have too many injuries, making sure that, I know that's very difficult because, it's the off-season and injuries can happen, but at the end of the day, that's my view on it.
Yep.
But obviously, I will have a season review at the end of the year on my channel, so if you want to jump on, just let me know. You can contact me and let me know, and probably hold the ball on as well. So that's my view on the old top 8 debate, whether that's but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess just my last sort of words there regarding that. Simply for the Warriors next year is top 8, no debate, no ifs, no buts, there's no negotiation. That's as simple as it goes. Top 8, that's it. Simple. No excuses there. All right. So a question here from Nicholas McKirshner. Have you ever done any sports presenting work for a broadcasting organization, HTB? Very smooth presenter. Oh, appreciate it. No, I haven't. We'll see what happens. I'm available. I'm a free agent, so to speak. Also, Fanatics, Manchester City is the EPL team to follow. You're a man of taste. Okay, yeah, you follow Manchester, don't you? I follow Crystal Palace, man. So bring it on.
Yep.
All right. So hey, boys, could we possibly get your 2022 team prediction for starting? Look, I'm personally not going to answer that. I'm going to leave that for a later video myself. I think that'll probably take a while to explain there. So I guess for me personally, sorry, Fanatics, I think we'll just skip that one. I'm sure you have your own answers in your own videos when the time is right. Sam Rebel, I follow Arsenal EPL. How good are they going at the moment? LOL. Levi Hawkins says we can still make it, bros. I believe. We'll see what happens. Because for me personally, as I'm sure Fanatics knows, when it gets to the latter end of the season and it starts going on to the whole mathematic thing, it's over. Forget it. You know what I mean? As soon as we have to start relying on teams to beat this team, to lose to that team, to drop all this team, to score 5 tries against that team, 6 against this team, it makes it very difficult. That's the unfortunate reality there. So we'll see what happens. All we can do is win. But I think the results are quite out of our hands, quite literally. So, yeah, this is probably the time where holding the ball does not matter, unfortunately. All right, so I'm just reading through some of the. I'm just going to post these comments here. Good on you, Nicholas. Sharks to lose. All right. Sorry, Fanatics. Just quickly as well, Fanatics. So, what were your thoughts, just off the top of your head? What were your thoughts on the Rabbitohs losing to Penrith? And did you think that the Rabbitohs needed that loss? Do you think that'll make them better off for that loss? What are your thoughts there?
Look, I did tip Penrith to win. The Rabbitohs started off well. They had a good start there. They were up 12-0. And from there on, it was just Nathan Cleary. Nathan Cleary absolutely won that game for Penrith, in the end. I know. I'm going to say it, there were some questionable penalties against South Sydney. There was a 12-4 penalty count in favour of the Panthers. I don't know what to say, really, to be honest. I found that completely strange, very strange. But Penrith deserve to win. Did South Sydney get robbed? I see a lot of people saying South Sydney got robbed. I absolutely don't agree with that. I don't buy into that comment that they were robbed. They had a good start there, and, they should have done a lot better. So, no, yes, South Sydney was a great effort from them, but, was it a missed opportunity? I believe it was. Actually, I believe it was a missed opportunity that, they were the second best behind the Melbourne Storm. So, was that loss good for them? Maybe it's best to lose now. Maybe it is best to lose now because come finals time, that's when it really matters the most for me. It's where it matters the most. Finals is a whole completely new ball game for me. So, yeah, South Sydney, yes, it really is a good loss for them. But also, they play each other again in the finals, which will probably happen. And Penrith know they've got the wood on them. So, mentally, that might play on their minds a bit there. So, yeah, that's what I believe.
Yep. I've got a bit of a hot take for you guys. Are you ready? Storm don't make the grand final.
Yep.
That's my hot take. Storm don't make the grand final. They miss out in the semi-final when it matters.
Oh.
Yeah. That is my.
Yep.
My
well, look, I'm really hoping that's the case. I really do. No offense to the Storm supporters out there, but I don't want to see them win it again. I know that people might say, "Oh, you're jealous." They're successful. We're successful, and all that. People come out with comments like that because I'm saying that I don't want them in the grand final. But this is my personal opinion. I'd rather see someone different win it. Someone like Penrith, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Teams like that. Definitely not the Roosters. Definitely not the Melbourne Storm. I don't want to see either of them win it.
Anyone but the Storm. It's as simple as that.
My preference is Penrith for Souths.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Hawkins here. He says, Sharks lose to the Broncos and Storm and Titans lose to the Knights and us. And Warren, correct me if I'm wrong. Look, I've got this feeling that the Sharks will beat Broncos. You watch this. Anthony Milford played like Cooper Cronk against us. He's going to play like,
Yep.
Anthony Milford of the usual, when he meets the Sharks. You watch this. This is what he's going to do. He's going to play clutch as against us. Then when it comes to the Sharks, he's going to drop the ball and everything like that. Look, I think that's how it goes there. But like I said, when you get there, doesn't really matter, does it? All right, so we've got a comment here, and I want your thoughts on this one here, Fanatics. If we can't make at least a 7 or 8 next year, it'll be a disaster for the club. Thoughts?
100%. Definitely. Yep. The last, the is now, we haven't been able to deliver on expectations. And I'm going to say that last year is an exception because last year was a lot of issues. We had get sacked mid-season. Now, at the time, I thought, we'd be sacking him so early in the year. And, because we were trapped in Australia for a bit there. And, it turned out to be the right decision because Todd Payton did a great job there. He really changed the mentality of the players. The players want to play for the team. They want to show heart in the jersey each week. We saw some performances there. I think it was around 2024 or something. I think it was when we played Cronulla. It was when our season officially ended. So, we fought well to the end, like what we were trying to do now. But unfortunately, it hasn't come off for us now. But we tried to do something similar. But so. Yeah, look, I don't think we can't not get there next year. Get into that top 8. We have to be in it. No doubt about it. I think around about 6th, 7th, 8th. For me, top six on the level would be great. Would be great. 7th or 8th, would be also great there. So, no excuses next year for me in terms of making that finals push here. So, who knows? Maybe we could push for top 4. It might sound ambitious here, but we could push top 4 if things go well for us. But top 8 is definitely the main target for us next year for me.
Yeah, look, we'll have to see about that next year, obviously. I just want us to make the 8, then we'll see where we go from there. Sam Rivel has a comment here. HTB, dude, I get this feeling they're not raising that trophy this year as well. Penrith, like I said, that is my hot take. I honestly think the Storm get kicked out in the semi-finals, and I've got a feeling that, that's my hot take there. If Penrith win it, that'll be great. Obviously, they've had a really hard sort of a, spell this year, so we'll see what happens. All right, just reading through some comments there. And again, Fanatics, well said there. Jacko here says, how can a team with a 11 versus 2 penalty count and a 6 again going against them? Panthers winning won't help them. It was a Clayton's win. And then Levi Hawk says, if we don't make the 8, it's a bus 100. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Nicholas McKercher says, where will Milford play next year? I heard apparently it's the Rabbitohs. Is that correct, Fanatics? Rabbitohs, eh?
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
South Sydney apparently rumored to be going after him. I Yep.
Yeah. Sam Rivel here. Oh, this is a
Yeah.
pretty. This is interesting. Give me your thoughts on this, Fanatics. 2022 is the biggest, most important year in Warriors history. That is massive. That is massive. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, that's a massive call there from good old Sam Rivel there. It's a huge call.
It sort of makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Yep. Oh, I think, he's probably spot on there. I think he's spot on. Look, I know there's been a lot of years that have been the most important for the Warriors, but next year definitely is. I think it is for sure. I absolutely agree with you there, Sam Rivel, on your comment there. Yeah, look, I don't know what the next year holds in terms of where we're going to be located. That's still up in the air. You got to remember we've still got to where we're going to be located next season. Will we be in Australia again for the whole season? Personally, from my point of view, I hope not. I want to see us play in New Zealand. Want to see us get some home games in Auckland. Get some games around the country in New Zealand because, look, right now, New Zealand is going through a bit of a lockdown period. That's cases here, so thoughts go out to everyone there back home in New Zealand. But yeah, it is for me. 2022 is the most important year for the Warriors, and in terms of where the team's located, it all depends. It all depends on that one. But I do agree with you there, Sam Rivel, on your comment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's the most important because there's so much now fixated on the Warriors in terms of squad development, in terms of Rhys Walsh. There's almost an outcry that we should be. Fanatics made a good point, though. However, in saying that, you've got to remember there's always that uncertainty of where we will play, and I think we'll discuss that more as during the off season as well. I think there's going to be a lot of news regarding. So, watch the space, watch Fanatics space as well. I'm sure we'll get together and have a big yarn about that. But I think I think it is a big statement, but I think it is actually I think it should be taken literally. We do have to turn things around, especially with Shaun Johnson coming back. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that at all. We got a really good squad this year. Sure, we'll probably be missing some parts, especially in the halves, but I mean, it's no excuse next year. Simple as that. There's absolutely no excuses. And just quickly as well, again, to the people in New South Wales, and any of the affected areas as well, in New Zealand as well. I hope you guys are well, safe, and again, mentally doing okay. I understand it can be tough. So again, thoughts as well, sending you guys positive thoughts there. Just quickly got a comment here. Oh, BKR Sports. Hey, man, how you going? New Zealand make the 8 had they had home games this season. Absolutely. But it'll probably be a very familiar story for them next year if they are based in Australia all year. Warrior home games are a necessity. Yeah. Look, first and foremost, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that very much, man. And second of all, yeah, I agree. What are your thoughts on on his comment there, Fanatics?
Yep. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. The BKR Sports on this comment. Yeah, I think home games are essential for us next year. It's very important. Now, it all depends. What happens. I think with the way the situation is at the moment. The COVID situation. In terms of Australia and New Zealand, it all depends on whether they allow, New Zealand, whether they allow Australian teams to, travel to New Zealand. What happens with the New Zealand government there in terms of that, and also, whether the Australian government allows the Warriors to travel in and out of Australia and to New Zealand, because that's the main focal point there. So, yeah, I do hope. I'm very hopeful for some home announcements, Mount Stadium or around New Zealand, because the team. How excited was it when it got announced, during this year that they were going to go back home and play at Mount Smart Stadium. We saw the players respond, we saw how happy all the fans were back home in New Zealand getting tickets. They were sorting out tickets and that, and it was all go. It was all go, and that was unfortunately dropped. Because of what's happened here in Australia. So I hope that situation does not happen next year. I really do. If there is another announcement in terms of getting home games, but that's what I believe.
Yeah, look, just quickly as well, just to elaborate on that. Well said, Fanatics. I think it truly is. Obviously, COVID has had its way with NRL. That's the reality. It's absolutely, it's got the NRL in the palm of its hand. All right, let's not forget that. And on top of that as well, just how heartbreaking it is now, especially for the Warrior fans back in New Zealand who just want to watch the boys play, man. And it's sort of vital, and that's a good point too. Just how important home games really are. And obviously, we can say playing in Central Coast is a home game. We can say playing in Redcliffe is a home game. But the reality is, though, it is not. It's not a home game because we're based in Auckland. You know what I mean? Like, we're based in New Zealand. And, yeah, it's very tough. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, it is pretty tough. All right, so we got a comment here. Levi Hawkins, I believe next year we should have all home games next year before the sacrifices. Next year, all the sacrifices were made in the past 2 years. And I guess I'll follow that on quickly with Sam Rebel's comment. He says, if you haven't spoken about it, or if you're not sick of talking about it, and I never can get sick of talking about the Warriors, I'm sure, Sam, as you being a Cowboys fan, you never get sick of talking about your teams. It is the way it is. May I ask, what would you like to see in the Warriors 2022 draw if NRL returns to New Zealand? I guess for me, look, in an ideal world, things are all good and well and we can sort of play there. I wouldn't mind at least the majority, at least like 80% of games home. Let's say, for example, 5 or 6 games we play in Australia, but I mean the majority of games at home. To make it fair, I don't think the NRL will ever give us that draw having every single game in Auckland. I don't ever see that happening. So if we could maybe have, say, for example, 5 or 6 games where we play in Australia and the rest literally situated in New Zealand. What are your thoughts there? Just quickly, Fanatics?
Yep. Look, personally for me, with the whole around, the Warriors should home games, all the home games in New Zealand. Look, I personally don't think the NRL would let the Warriors have a whole home season in Auckland. I just
too much of
the
an
other
advantage.
NRL teams, I don't think that
too much of an advantage. They wouldn't allow that. You know that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think so too. There'll be fans out there saying, it's too much of an advantage. Like you said there, there'll be fans like, it will favour the Warriors too much. People complain and all that because, but obviously as a biased point of view, I'd love to see it happen, but, it's not going to happen. Let's be honest. It's highly unlikely to. The NRL won't warm to that of that happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, good comment. Jacko here says, less travel, based in Aussie, so it is arguable being based back in Auckland will make that much of a difference. Will not make that much of a difference, I suppose. Will make that much of a difference, sorry. But I'm going to miss Mount Smart games. Yeah, it's almost like a distant memory now, isn't it? Watching the Warriors, linking the Warriors to Mount Smart is almost a distant memory now. It's so foreign. It is absolutely foreign. Samuel there, thank you, lads. I'm not sure what that is in regards to, but thank you for commenting and watching. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And again, guys, Sam Revel, just quickly, he's featured on, I think he has his own channel, I'm not too sure that, but he also features on Nick from Australia as well. He's a good dude, very informative. I appreciate the way he, talks and see the passion in the game there. BK Sports, what's up, bros? Should react to Warrior game with him. Would be entertaining with you 3. Yeah. Hey, if he ever wanted to, the door's always open. That's what I say. It's always good to collab. And having Fanatics there will be awesome. All right, so Nicholas McKercher says, what brings you to South Australia, hold the ball? Look, long story short, moved over here when I was a kid with the folks. Didn't have much say at all. And here I am. That's it. That's probably like the quickest way to say it. So, yeah, I'm living here in South Australia, rugby league heartland. Can't get enough of it over here. So, yeah. That too. Levi, obviously, there's always that aspect too. All right, so Jacko here says Warriors preseason has become a real worry. Apparently, a lot of them can't get back home this side of December and then face 2 weeks isolation. Yeah. There is a lot of mess regarding what may or may not happen with the Warriors regarding, flying and then isolating and flying back potentially, and then you got to remember, the boys, I think almost down the middle, half of the squad are Australian, half of the squad Kiwis, you know what I mean? It's crazy, crazy, but I'm sure Fanatics and myself will have some videos and updates on that as well. What are your sort of quick thoughts on that, Fanatics, just quickly?
Yeah, it's not a great position to be in right now. So yeah, and so I don't know how long New Zealand, apparently at the moment is around about 100 odd cases here at the moment in terms of the COVID-19 there. So it's not great at all. It's not great, and they're into lockdown again, and Australia's also gone through a lot too as well with the lockdowns. You had Queensland, New South Wales. New South Wales is affected. It's probably the most affected by, the COVID situation here in Australia. I've also got the likes of the ACT, which is Canberra. Also, it's not great. It's a very, very messy situation. It's an ugly situation, in terms of, with the as well the players as well. Luckily for the players here in Queensland, they've got families over here as well. Last time obviously didn't happen last year. This time they've got their family, but still, it's not a great situation to be in. Hopefully, it gets all sorted soon. It's hard to say when because it's a ever-changing situation there. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We've got Nicholas Merkurcher here. Do you follow the AFL? Look, simply put, yes, I do. But obviously, I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, I do follow the AFL. So Atrius T says, besides Warriors, is there other teams that haven't won a premiership? From my understanding, I think it's just the Titans solely. I think, yeah, every other team has won a premiership except the Titans and Warriors. So yeah, I think, look, I think when you put it in that aspect, it's very low-hanging fruit. You can't really, look at the Titans and say that their competition in regards to not winning premiership, they've only been in since 2007. So, again, we've been in since 1995, and I'm not going to vent my frustration on that reality there, so I'll just leave that out. But, yeah, look, was there sort of any other talking points that you wanted to sort of have a yarn about, or were there any more questions or anything like that, Fanatics? Do you have anything else to sort of chat or mention? Anything on the top of your mind? Or, I guess we've just about summed it up, haven't we? Really, it just sucks losing. That's it. So
yeah. I think I've brought up some as many points as I can think of there. So yeah, it's been great fun. It's been great fun, having a chat to you about around all the Warriors, the NRL as a whole, and all we can hope for is, we can see the same expectation and do a lot better next year because, the next couple of rounds is just going to be a trial out sort of next couple of weeks, these two games, throwing some different players in there. Why not? I just think it's, a lost cause now, the last two games. And obviously I will be going, to a game. I'll be going to that last game of the season. Got tickets months ago. I'll be going to the Gold Coast Titans Warriors here up on the Gold Coast. So looking forward to going to that without any stress at all, worrying about, applications and all that sort of stuff. So just going there and sitting there and enjoying the footy and enjoy watching the boys for the last time this season. And, we are great to get a win there to finish the year on a good note there. So, yeah, I'd like to huge thanks to Hold the Ball for having me on his channel. And no doubt you'll probably be seeing Hold the Ball on my channel again. So, yeah, big, massive thanks to him for letting me come on to chat all things Warriors and NRL. Thank you, Hold the Ball.
No, look,
and also, but also a bit of a thank you to everyone for watching as well.
Yeah, no, look, just okay. So we'll just got a few comments here. Levi Hawkins just quickly just said, Towns haven't either, but we haven't ever won a spoon. That's right. We are the OGs for not winning a spoon, so try and beat that. Tissa Mess, every time we don't get the spoon, I think is a premiership win. So, nah. All right, so Tissa Mess, what about Warrior New South Wales players? They go into lockdown if they return. Yeah, it's a massive mess. It's a lot to dissect from the Warriors team, especially the fact that we actually are supposed to be playing in New Zealand. It's a massive mess. But I think I'll definitely dissect that as we go further on to the off season as well. A lot to talk about. Just because the season is over for the Warriors, is if we don't make the 8, just because the season over for us doesn't mean that the Warriors content stops from me. I'm sure Fanatics is the same. We're going to keep churning him out on a regular basis, especially of us being away and on sort of being in the middle of this pandemic in regards to what to do. But look, just quickly as well, guys, thanks again for commenting. Thanks again for joining us, being part. Again, for those of you in affected areas where COVID is running rampant between the two countries, I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys be well. I hope you guys stay well and are mentally well. I think those sort of important parts. Again, Fanatics, thank you for joining. Thank you for having the yarn and discussing all things Warriors as well as NRL. I look forward to chatting with you guys again. I do plan on making some videos coming up soon. I think maybe we'll see what happens either tonight or tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. Catch Fanatics and myself as we put on some content for you guys again tomorrow. But in saying that, thanks again, bro. Take it easy. Guys, take it easy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys next time. And just remember, hold the ball. See you guys next time.